And I'm also glad that you're the kind of parents that would be here for your kids. How many of you have more kids in the district? All right, we've got a lot here. Okay, very good. What I'm going to be sharing with you today is something I call the 3 Ps for kindergarten success, but it's really tips for school success all the way through your school career. It's going to help you in your own life and your older children. So I hope this is really helpful. And before I start, I'm just going to share a little bit about myself. My name is Lorraine Pursell, like I said. I'm an international best-selling author. I'm also a former counselor. I used to be a counselor in California and Hawaii for years. And now I'm what I call a life empowerment coach. I empower people all over the world to live their authentic life and not lose themselves to their family, their life, and their career. Because it can be consuming, raising kids. We kind of forget who we are in the whole process. So I help people come back to themselves and stay in their truth and really know who they are while they raise their children really well. So you don't have to do one or the other. You can do both. And I'm all about encouraging you to do that. And in fact, that's what the talk is going to be about today, is structuring your life so you can take care of you and you don't burn out and get fatigued. Okay? So I'm also on TV, NBC KFYR TV every Friday. And I've had radio shows supporting parents since 2007. So I've had a lot of success, and I'm so happy that my life is this way now. But it wasn't always this way. So it all happened for me when my son was just 4, and I found myself one evening yelling uncontrollably at him. I couldn't stop yelling. I was yelling and yelling and yelling, and I don't know what a 4-year-old could have done to trigger that in me, but I couldn't stop. And he had left the room, and I was still yelling. And so I woke up from my trance, and I went around the corner of the hallway where he was hiding, and he would peek his head around the corner to see me because he loved me so much. But as soon as I made eye contact, he'd dart back behind to protect himself. It was a very scary time. I went around to him and I kneeled down by him and I just said, "Mark, how do you feel right now?" And he said, "I feel afraid of you." And my heart just broke. And I said, "What are you afraid of?" And he said, "I'm afraid of you because I don't know what you're going to do." And when he said that, this 4-year-old boy articulated my childhood. That's how I felt, and I didn't even know it. This is how I experienced my childhood. I was afraid of my parents because I didn't know what they were going to do. Were they going to be the nice parents or the mean parents? The loving parents or the rageaholics? And there was alcohol involved in my household when I was growing up. So I knew I needed help because I had vowed to not be like my mom when I had my child. But there I was, being like my mom. And that's what happens when we have unhealed stuff. It's like these knee-jerk responses. I don't know how many of you have vowed you won't do what your parents did to you, but when push comes to shove and you're under a lot of stress. I was leaving my ex-husband at the time. I thought I would be homeless because I didn't have any job skills. I was under a lot of stress, so I snapped that night, and probably a lot of other times too. And so I went to counseling. I went to counseling for years. And years and years. And finally I got better, and I said, you know, this really helped me, so I am going to get my master's in marriage, family, and child counseling and help other people the way I've been helped. So that's what I did. And let's fast forward. My son's 16 now, and we're in our dining room in Rio Del Mar, California. And we're doing our homework together. I'm in my master's program, and he's in his high school program. And he stands up, and I look up at him, and I go, you know, Mark, we've really figured out this parent-child thing, haven't we? And he said, yeah. And I said, you know, I'd really like to write a book someday to support parents, because who knows how to do this deal? Nobody knows how to do this parenting deal. We have this kid, we love them so much, and now what do we do? Except what has been done to us, and even in our best efforts, we can't get there. So he said, I'd like to help you write that book. And he went on to help me with one of my seminars and help me in some of my teleclasses that I did for parents. But the kicker was when he called me 3 years ago and he said, Mom, I would love nothing more than for you to leave Hawaii and come to Williston and be a part of my family. So I left Paradise. I'd been there for 6 years, and I came to North Dakota. And it's the most gratifying thing to have my child want to be with me when he no longer has to be. So, enough about me. Let's get into the 3 Ps. Does everybody have one of these sheets? Does anybody need a pen? Does everybody have a pen? Okay, I think we're all set. Because I'm going to have you take notes. And I'm going to have you, it's like an exercise, like a workshop thing. I'm going to have you fill in some things and think of some ideas and some suggestions for yourself that you might want to follow through on after today. So the first P is prepare. Okay, first of all, you see this card that's attached to your sheet? Everyone has this card on their paper? I invite you to take this off and put it in your wallet or your purse and keep it handy, because I'm giving every one of you, as a District 1 parent, a free consultation with me where we can discuss anything. As you can tell from my background, between what I've experienced in my life, what I've done myself, and what I've experienced with my clients over the last 20 plus years, there's no shame. You can talk to me about anything. There's no judgment, and I'll understand. So anything you want to talk to me about, just take this card off and keep it in your purse and have it handy. All right? So the 3 Ps, the first one is, I'm going to tell you the Ps. We're going to prepare, we're going to provide, and we're going to praise. Okay? So the first P is prepare. So tomorrow morning is showtime. For your little one. Tomorrow morning is showtime. There are some things you're going to want to get in place tonight to support you tomorrow and support them in their brand new career, their brand new job. The school is their job. So some of the things might be, okay, we're going to be leaving at 7:45 to be at school at 8:15. How can we do this? What time do we need to leave in the morning? What time do we need to wake up? Let's back that up. What time do we need to be in bed? And then back it up even further. What time do we have to start this whole show to get them in bed at 8 o'clock without being rushed? So one of the things that's good to do is to get the kids to get all their stuff by the front door before they go to bed at night, so there isn't the mad scramble in the morning. And have your kids help you make the lunches. Please write this down. Don't do for your kids what they can do for themselves. So let's put it in the first person. I won't do for my kids what they can do for themselves. Go ahead and write that down. I won't do for my kids what they can do for themselves. This is super vital. Have any of you seen a butterfly break out of the chrysalis? Have any of you experienced that? You have? It's pretty hard to watch because the thing is like struggling and you don't think it's going to make it. And I've heard stories of people seeing that struggle and wanting to tear open the chrysalis to help the butterfly out, and they've just killed the butterfly because they will become bird food. They won't be able to fly, and the magic is all of that struggle to get out of that chrysalis is getting the fluid out to the ends of their wings so they can actually fly. And when the person opens up the chrysalis just a little bit, it doesn't get the fluid out. So, I'm using that analogy. What do you protect and shelter your child from? What do you do to make their life easy that is developmentally appropriate for them to do? It can be, what are their little jobs? What are their little chores? This has to be done. They have to do it. They're the ones who do it, not you. What about setting the table at night? At 5 years old, they certainly can do that. This is their job. We cannot eat until they set the table. So we're waiting because their job is very important. One of these seminars that my son helped me with at the lunch break, he did like a little breakout with the parents, and he said this, and it was really profound, and I was really hoping I didn't do this, but I'm sure I did. He said, when you give your child a job to do, and you take it back from them and do it yourself, you've just told them that they're not capable. When he said that, I'm like, oh no. Because I'm sure I did that many times. So the point is, how will you show your child through this rehearsal that you're going to start doing, so that they can be capable. Take it one step at a time, one little tiny step at a time, to where they feel confident and they're able to actually do the job. So the rehearsal, and then there's repetition. There's repetition. Over and over and over and over. And no impatience. This is just what it takes. Like, let's picture you on a new job, and let's say that the person that's your supervisor just tells you all this stuff, and you're like, it doesn't sink in. You have to do it for it to make sense, for it to land. You have to get it viscerally. You have to get it kinesthetically. You have to actually do it and get your hands on it before you understand the methods. And this is what your child needs too. So no impatience. It's just understand. It's just going to take repetition, 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 over and over and over and over. It's just the way it is. And then rules. What are some rules that you might want to set up tonight, now, that you maybe had going last year? It's been a long summer, it's gotten a little bit loose, that you need really for your support. What might be some rules that you might want to just take a moment and just think about that? What might be a couple of rules you might want to reinstate to support you and your family? And go ahead and write them down. Could be bedtime, could be homework has to be done right after school, no dawdling. Clothes laid out the night before. How many of you have kids that can make you late for school? Because they can't decide what to wear, they can't get their act together, they can't get out the door. I have the perfect solution. Make sure that they eat first, and they brush their teeth, and maybe comb their hair, but dressing is the very last thing. Dressing is the very last thing. If they're not ready when it's time to leave, you explain to them that they're going however they are. And they can put their clothes in the car and finish dressing on the way to school, but they're not going to make you late. Your kids can't make you late. Okay? So when you do this a couple of times, honey, I know, come on, we're going anyway, kicking and screaming, drag them into the car with their clothes, they can finish dressing in the car. You do that a couple times, you're golden. They know you mean it. We're not trying to be mean here, we're trying to let them know, hey, you're the parents. And you're the parent and not the child, not the friend. You're the parent, not the friend. And it's so challenging for us because we love our kids so much. We're afraid that if we do the right parent thing, they're not going to love us anymore. We're going to lose their love. So we lose our courage to be the parent and do what we know we need to do. Everybody right now, write the number 18 in the margin of your paper. The number 18. And then put your child's age underneath that number 18 and subtract. And this is how many years you have left to influence your child. And the smaller that number gets, the less influence we have. Right now it's golden. If your child is 5, you have 2 more years where they're going to be a sponge for you. They don't have the reasoning factor yet to go, what? I don't know if I'm going to accept that or not. Only at 7, from 7 on, they do that. So right now it's golden. You can teach them to be helpful. You can teach them to take responsibility. What are some things that we need to teach our kids so that they're masterful when they walk out our door at 18? What are some things that they have to learn to do? What are some things? Yes?
Responsibility.
Responsibility, great. Thank you. What else? What are some other things we need to have our kids be masterful with if they're going to function at 18 when they can legally emancipate? Respect. Great. Thank you. Yes, respect. How do we do this? How do we teach them responsibility and respect? From the day-to-day stuff we do in the house. They need to learn how to cook. They need to learn how to shop. They need to learn how to manage money. They need to learn how to show up on time and keep their commitments, because otherwise they'll walk off the job maybe. I've heard about this. They won't know that they need to stay because you've made it so easy for them. So again, don't take the stress of their life off of them, please. They need all of that for their strength so that they can really fly later and feel competent and confident. Because really, that is very important, and I want to make sure you're not overworked. I want to make sure that you get the rest you need. You're laughing. I want to make sure you get the rest you need. Half of you are sleep deprived. The other half has adrenal exhaustion, I'm sure. Because you're doing. And why do we do this? Why do we do this doing? Anybody have an idea? It's guilt. It's guilt. We're afraid if we don't rescue our kids, oh, I can't. Okay, I'll do it for you. I'm too tired. Okay. And we get angry inside and then we start yelling, right? So, it's, I think you can. What do you need from me to help you do this? I can't do my math. I think you can. Here's a bunch of pennies. Let's count them out. 3 plus 4 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see it right in front of them. So don't do your kids' homework for them. Help them, aid them. But again, don't do for your kids what they can do for themselves. There's things like they can put their clothes away. At 5, some of them can even start the washing machine and throw in their jeans. Wow. Fold their own clothes. Put them in the drawers. Put them away. There's so many things. And when your child tells you that they want to help you, and you're like, oh no, I'm cutting something right now. What can I give them to cut? Say, sure, here's something soft like a zucchini, and I'm going to give you a butter knife. Start sawing on it. When your child says they want to help, that's the time you seize that moment. Yes, let me find a way for you to help. Let me find a way for you to help me with the dishes. Yes, there will be water all over the floor. Yes, there will be broken glass. Yes, there will be a mess on the floor that didn't make it all the way to the garbage can. But guess what? Your child is going to go, oh, I can help. And your children want to they want to help you. But what happens is that we unknowingly squash that. And then we kill and snuff out their desire to serve us and help us, because they want to help us badly. So anytime your child says, can I help? Can I do that? Find a way. Oh sure, here, you can mix up the suds, or anything. Anything. Does that make sense? Good. Okay. So we're gonna, what?
Or they just do it on their own.
Or they just do it on their own with a dull knife, hopefully. So now we're going to provide. We're going to provide support, routine, and stability for their confidence. Kids need stability. They need regular bedtime. They need to know when dinner is every night. They need to know what they can depend on, that they wake up every morning at the same time, that every night They all get their stuff. This is just what we do before we go to bed at night. We put all our stuff by the door, okay? They just know, they can count on this. This is what they need for stability. Freedom is very important, but too much freedom makes them insecure. It's like a newborn, when they're first born, they want to be swaddled really tight. It's still like this for them. They're brand new. They want those structures so that they know what they can count on and depend on. Yeah. So you're going to support your child with their homework, because they're going to start bringing home homework. Again, this is their job. School is their new career. So how are you going to support them with their homework? The best way I know is to have a clean, well-lit environment. The best place I know is the kitchen table. It's central. Don't send your kids to their bedroom to do homework. It won't happen, right? Totally. I wouldn't. I'd be organizing clothes or something. Yeah. So have it at the kitchen table, and you do your homework with them if you can. Like, how many of you know that homework does not go away? What are some of the things we have for homework?
Laundry.
Laundry! That's a new one. I haven't heard that one yet. Yes. What else? Dishes, bill paying, returning emails. So just sit there with them and do it. And then your little ones, they'll know that this is the time to be quiet. So like these children at the back that are coloring, just going to sit quietly coloring while big brother and big sister are doing their homework, and I'm doing my homework too. This is like a family thing. Okay? As much as you can, go for that. And routine, make sure that they've got that bedtime at 8 o'clock. So 35% of your kids are going to, yes, 8 o'clock, on the dot. And so that means at 7:45, it's teeth brushing time, because you know that's going to take 15 minutes. And then it's going to take another 15 to get their pajamas on. So you start at 7:30 with that whole rigmarole, so that you aren't frustrated. It's all about you guys not getting frustrated. So you are well supported as the CEO and the president of your family. So just think now, as the CEO and president of your family, how would you like your family to run so that everybody is supported and everybody has everything they need? How would you like that to run? Just think for a minute. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. So whatever it is, you just work backwards. You just work backwards. 8 o'clock bedtime means 7:45. Brushing teeth means jammies. And then really read to your kids. Super important. As an educational therapist, I didn't tell you I'm an educational therapist too. I teach dyslexia kids to read and ADD kids to stay in their bodies. Reading to them is the most important thing you can do. Reading to them, they hear the phonemes, and that will really help them with reading. It'll help their articulation, their ability to speak. So reading. And here's something that would be kind of cool to do, and that would be, after dinner, all technology goes off, including the television. And maybe you all sit around the living room and read paper books, not on Facebook, not on your phone, but paper books. The newspaper, anything. You read to each other. Our family is a reading family.
Something about reading to your kids in a paper book teaches kids that it's not a robot either. Like, people make you up.
Oh.
And people make newspapers, and that it can be a job that somebody else do. It's just a no magically appear on the internet or on your phone. I think that's a really good skill for kids to learn.
Great point. I didn't realize that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. So she was just saying that having a paper book teaches the kids that someone actually has a job to do this. It isn't just magically on the internet. Thank you for that. So also make sure that your kids have a good breakfast. And a good breakfast, avoid Pop-Tarts, Cocoa Puffs, Fruit Loops, and anything with red dye in it, right? Because the sugar it works havoc on the body. So protein, eggs, sausage, almonds. And if you're having trouble getting them fed in the morning, no worries. Just get them to school by 7:45. and the school will feed them for $2. A really strong, healthy protein breakfast, okay? So that stability is about being consistent. And I don't know about you, but that was one of the hardest things for me to get my head around. Whatever I say to my kid, I have to follow through and do. So I had to be very careful what I said to them that I was going to do. If I had to keep my promises, and as I kept my promises, my son learned that he would keep his promises. So the consistency, if you set up a rule, like say you go, okay, we want to make sure that we have dinner at 6 o'clock every night, and then my child helps me clean up after dinner. Or they clean up their room at that time. So in that time, you are consistent with that every night. That's what happens. Every single night, that's what happens. There is no exception. There is no exception. This is just what goes on. I'm not talking about being Nazi about this. I'm just talking about, making sure that they've got that structure and they know what they can depend on and count on. This leads to security. And I'm also not talking about if someone's really tired and we need a little grace, because that's what we do in families. We help each other out. But our kids really do need that consistency. So whatever that is, like just think right now, what might be a couple things that you need to maybe tighten up on that consistency with. And go home tonight and say, we're going to start this again, and we're not talking about making it perfect, because parenting is not perfect. It's an art and not a science. Every day is different and every kid is different. Who knows how to do this deal? So you really have to trust your instincts and your gut. And that's what I help my community with, is keeping them in tune with their gut and their instinct to help them with this parenting deal. So it might just be 2 things that you want to institute tonight. And just address it, and just take a second and write it down. And this is all about supporting you. So you can have a calm house. Everyone can get their needs met. You get your needs met because your kids are taken care of. This is what I need for my household, as the leader, as the parent of my home. And you just introduce it tonight. You go to them and you say, hey, we're going to start this again. So this is what you can expect every single night or every single morning. And if you need help, just call that phone number on the card. I don't know about you, but I was the parent that had the parent stress hotline number by my phone, especially when my son was a teenager. So you can make me your parent stress hotline. And in maybe just a couple minutes, I can help you find a solution, and I'm just there for you. So the third one is praise. And it's so important that your children know that they are loved just because they were born. And that they're so valuable just because they breathe. But that is not what builds self-esteem or confidence. Believe it or not, that is not it. When kids just have that and they're praised and they're loved no matter what, they don't know who they are. They don't know what you want. There's no boundary for them. So when you praise them for, I just saw you treat your little brother really well. Thank you. I just saw you take your plate over. Thanks a lot. That was great. I really appreciate that. You got dressed in 5 minutes. Wow, thank you. That is what builds the self-esteem, because then they have something to grab on, because they just want to please you more than anything, but they don't know how to do it sometimes. So as you catch them doing the good things, and they will keep doing the good things. Praise anything that you want them to continue doing. So anything you want more of, praise it. Praise it. That's the stuff to praise. And have that foundation of, just because you were born, I love you so much, I'll love you forever and ever, amen. But especially build those skills so they know what's expected of them in life. So you're going to praise their job, you're going to praise their effort, and you're going to praise their progress. So their job, their effort, and their progress. And the way the progress goes is really slow. Really slow. And I'm not telling you anything new. How you might show your child how to tie their shoes, which is one of the things that the teachers really want me to encourage you to do. So you've got your child in front of you, and you're over here, and you both got a sneaker with some laces. So here's, both hold up the laces, and you just go, okay, now we're just going to cross them over and drop them. Great! Pick it up again, cross it over, and drop them. Good! Again, cross it over and drop them. Until they are proficient at that, until they're masterful at that, until they've got it down, and they're just kind of doing this. Okay, they got it. Now you can move to the next step. The next step is, okay, pick it up, cross it over. Now we're going to loop it under. Great, drop it. Let's do it again. Pick it up, cross it over, loop it under. Great, drop it. Once they've got that to where it's just like no hitch, now you add the third step, which is pick it up, cross it over, loop it under, and so it goes one little tiny step at a time with the proficiency with every single step. So they feel really secure and confident. It's like that, what I was saying earlier, you're like, if you're in a job and someone says, okay, now you're going to do this, and then you do this, and then we walk over here and we do this, and they're like 150 million new things, new sensory process stuff going on, and you're completely overloaded. So if you want your kids to be confident, just break everything down to the tiniest little increment. So I really hope that this has been helpful to you. There are some things that the teachers wanted me to mention. And like I said, that card gives you a free hour of my time. So anything you want to talk to me about, you just call me. 808-936-4370. So they wanted me to mention that you must let the teachers know and the school know if you're going to take your kids out early. And take vacations at vacation time, because when we take vacations outside of vacation time, what are we communicating to our kids?
It's okay to break routine?
Yes. That school isn't important, that we can do this anytime, and guess what? When they're out there in the real world, they're not going to be able to do that with a job, right? So, if you keep your vacations within the vacation time, you're teaching them that school is important. Thank you for that. And also, how does it feel when you miss a lecture in class? Do you guys remember that feeling? You walk in, you don't know what they're talking about, and you just kind of like skulk into your seat, and it erodes your confidence. They need that classroom time. They honestly do. So drop them off and pick them up on time. And they would also like you not to walk your child to the door, maybe the first 2 days, so they know where their room is. But after that, they want you to drop them off so your child will walk to the line and wait in line and go in. So it's all about that independence, not sheltering our kids from the pressures of life. It's huge. Remember that butterfly. And I've worked with plenty of teenagers who are handicapped because their parents did so much for them. I'd like that to end right here. I would like you to empower you to teach your kids to be very, very powerful in their life. And please refrain from poking your head in the window or the door, because once your child sees you, it's over. It's meltdown time.
I watched this show before.
Yeah?
And people ran into the wall, and their heads got stuck in the wall.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, one other thing. Teach them how to wear their winter wear. Like how to zip up their jackets, how to put on their mittens, how to put their shoes on. And it goes like this. Okay, the zipper, the thing goes in a little hole, you zip it up, okay, do it again. The thing goes in a little hole, zip it up, okay, do it again. Rehearse, 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 because what happens, the parents are stuck, the teachers are stuck doing that, the kids don't get a recess. So be sure they know how to do all their winter wear. Now on page 2 of this handout, there's my ebook, How to Stop Yelling at Your Kids, How to Have a Fulfilled Life While Raising Your Children Well. And if this ebook sounds interesting to you, I would love to share it with you. Just please write your name and your email address really legibly, and we'll be sending out the email probably tomorrow. So look for Lorraine at LorrainePursell.com, probably in your spam folder because I'm not in your address book yet. If you get this ebook, I'm just letting you know you're going to be on my email list, and I send out several times a week I send out encouragement for you to take care of you. How to listen to you so you don't lose yourself to your family life and career, but you have a life while you're raising your children well. And the real point of this is your children do not want you to have them solely as your life. They don't. They don't. They feel smothered by it and they don't like it. They want to get away from you. So if you have interests outside of your children, outside of your family, while you're raising your family well, it's going to be so good all the way around. Like, my son is so proud of me because when he was 14, I freaked out. Oh my God, empty nest already at 14. I'm like, I got to get it together. So I started my master's program. So he's so proud of me. He texts me all the time or calls me, says, I'm so proud of you. This newsletter was so great. So do something where you're proud of you and your child will be proud of you. And what are you teaching your child by having a great big life? You're teaching them that they can have a great big life, and they're going to watch your courage, and they're also going to have courage to go beyond their comfort zone and step into their whole potential in their life. So if you know anybody else who wants the ebook, put their name and email in there, please, and let them know so I'm not spamming them. And then if you would like that complimentary consultation now with me, go ahead and write your phone number at the bottom, and I'll give you a ring. And then finally, on page 3 is an evaluation. If you could take just a couple minutes to fill this out and let me know what you need so I can serve you better, and also how I can improve this talk. I would so appreciate it. You can either hand those last 2 pages to me or to Deb in the back. And I just really thank you for your attention today. I wish you so much success in this school year. And if I can be of any service to you, feel free to call me. Thank you.